Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update and video for Friday, September the 14th. And I've got you guys know I always like to start on the S&P. We'll look at the S&P here. Looks like a pretty crazy day all over the place. But the crazy part of it, we opened right here, the opening bell, we were at 29.06. This is on the S&P daily. We closed at 29.04. So all of this, actually we opened right there, all this crazy, and we ended up where we started. Now the reason I point that out is that's happened about, I don't know, 5 out of the last 10 days we've been within a couple of points of where we started, even though we're all over the board. Just an observation. But, you know, we came out of the gate this morning. It looked like it was going to be great. Futures are way up. Last night, we went to 29.17 on the ES in the futures. That's the all-time high. Again, overnight. And I thought that we would get follow-through to that, and we didn't. We got to 29.08. And then this was when more tariff talks were announced, and we just kind of rolled over here. But then we start making our way back. And what this tells me is that bad news here, bad news here, buy the dip, right? People are buying the dip, right? This pattern should continue. Let's go out here. If you remember from when I did the nightly video last week, I was talking about, and it's a little more clear on the 20-day chart, I was talking about, and I even titled the video, where do these stairs end? Because we're stair-stepping down, very orderly, very orderly. We get down here to the bottom. I was actually thinking we might go down to here to 28.50. We never got that low, but we turned, and now we're stair-stepping back up, right? Nothing crazy, just, orderly down and orderly back up, with the eyes to the sky, right? So if we take this out on a bigger picture, it's even more apparent, or it's a little more clear to see here that we are clearly in an uptrend. No reason to think that that will change. Now there's 3,000, and we're going to get there. I don't know. I know we're headed that way. Now there could be blips along the way. We could have pullbacks. This thing could turn on a dime because we're in a super sensitive market-driven time right now with tweets and China and Mexico and all the stuff that we've got going on. Turkey has come back on the radar at some point. North Korea, whatever. There will be things to come up and kind of spook us. But again, the trend is still higher. We want to ride that trend. You don't want to try to paddle your canoe up the river. You want to go down the river with the current, right? And the current is up and higher. So, I'm looking at, let me pull a chart over here. And again, we're still talking about the S&P. This is from Carolyn's charts on the daily. As you can see, you would expect this. We've had lots of timing here. As we have kind of gone back and forth, getting higher. Here's 11 days, 6. We're kind of chopping back and forth. We've had all this timing. So timing is made for a low here. The next level up here, 29.30, and then guess what's above that? 29.48, or roughly 29.50. And the 2618, which, I don't know if we get there or not. I'm sure we will. I just don't know what the time frame would be. But that's 3,000. So, take all that with a grain of salt. I continue. I've been saying, if I have to choose, I'm going to choose to be bullish and choose to, to trade this thing higher. And it's been working very well last several months. Because here we didn't really know, and I'm kind of going, was back and forth. I'm super hedging, and I'm trying to scalp this and then catch this. Now we're kind of back in our old, let's just go higher kind of thing, you know. And until that pattern changes, we just, you know, we keep buying the dips with caution, you know, because again, we never know what's going to happen out there. Don't just go, you know, go long with everything in your portfolio. But you know, we don't want to fight the trend. And we've got earnings coming up. They'll start around October the 18th. And that's when we'll get into that. And then a little bit later in October, we'll get into all of the, you know, the big guys again, the Amazons, Apples, Googles, all that kind of stuff. This earnings season is going to be a little different. There's going to be lots of things going on. We got midterm elections. We got Facebook and Apple and Google and AT&T and Charter and all these companies are testifying before Congress about privacy and all this kind of stuff going on. So we got to be nimble, right? So again, as I have been saying and stating lately, I'm trading it to the upside, you know, with caution. You know, we got a little tailwind to our back, and that's always helpful. But I'm trying to be cautious as we go higher. I don't really have on my trading. I'm sizing again a little smaller than normal with less risk than normal in the way that I'm structuring the trade. So the way that I might do that is, for example, on a butterfly, maybe I do fewer contracts, or maybe I do a broken wing or something, so I have a little less risk on the downside if we were to take a flush down for whatever reason. But I will say this. If we do take any kind of gap down, or we have any kind of flush or whatever, I would be a buyer and not a seller. And I'm not, at this point, I'm not doing any kind of black swan type hedging. I'm doing a little short-term hedging, which is normal, typical, you know, but again, the trend is higher. And I've been talking about the S&P. We'll talk about the NASDAQ real quick. Same thing, cookie cutter pattern, same thing. You know, the correlations are together. Everything's going higher. Let's check out the Russell 2000. Kind of the same thing. Higher highs. We're above the moving averages. Nothing bearish about this to me. So until something changes, you know, I'm going to continue to trade this a little bit higher and buy. Buy the leaders on the, on any kind of pullback, being, leaders being Apple and Amazon, and Boeing's coming back to life, and some of these other names that we always talk about. Just want to buy those on the dip, right? ISRG, things like that. So keep that in mind. And I don't have any specific trade setups for you tonight, just because where we are, I'm just not seeing a lot of super fantastic setups. I'm watching. I would prefer that we get a pullback next week, actually, a shallow pullback, and it'd be great. But again, I'm a buyer, not a seller on a pullback. So I hope this helps, makes sense. So again, I just want to give you guys some ideas and things you might can work with, and hope that helps and makes sense. I did want to mention this. I know you've heard us talking about it. Raghee is doing a class tomorrow. I'm going to be in there as well. This is tomorrow. We only got 17 hours from now whenever I'm recording this, but it's on the 15th, on Saturday the 15th. We've got strategy class, we've got live trading. This is really cool. What she's come up with is very, very cool as far as targeting entry and exit points. I know we've been talking about it for the last several weeks, and I know you've heard all about it. So if you can make that, try to make that, I think it's well worth it. And other than that, let me wind it up here, and we'll get back on it next week. I think we got a lot of opportunity coming up between now and earnings season, and then the earnings season opens up a whole nother basket of opportunity for us, right? It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. It's going to be great. So with that, let me wind up. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll get back on it bright and early Monday morning, and I will see you then. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.